too.
If you know anything about me, you know the one thing that ticks me off more than anything else is disrespect for our law enforcement officers.
Oh, Tommy, let the virtue signaling begin. So, disrespect for law enforcement officers is the major thing that ticks you off. I mean, from your entire career, it seems like everything ticks you off. But it's disrespect for law enforcement that is the pivotal issue that makes your mouth want to open. Not injustice, not increasing wealth inequality, not access to health care, but respect for authority. Alright, please continue, Tommy.
These loudmouth celebrities and ex-football players can't stand it that after 8 years, we finally have a president that supports and respects the men and women in blue.
We finally have a president that respects the officers in blue. I wonder where this quote came from. Every day you confront danger, so it does not find our families. We recognize it, we respect it, we appreciate it, and we depend on you. Or how about this one? My heart goes out to the police officers who were injured in the last few days. They showed extraordinary restraint. It shows how tough a job policing can be. Or, as a president, I am committed to making sure America's dedicated police officers receive the support and recognition they have earned, and to doing all I can to protect those who protect us. That was President Obama. I think what we have is finally a president that will parrot your own views on police in America. This weird fetish with authority and those that enforce it on the right while crying about freedom cracks me up. But that's another video for another time.
So what do? They get on Twitter or stand on stage and spew out trash like this.
Trash like what, Tommy? The tweet you posted has John asking for people to stop calling police on black people. How is this anti-cop? I'd understand if John was like, hey, go out there and kill some cops. Or if he told people to actively berate officers in the street. I'd give you this claim. But to say that this tweet is anti-cop, it's a huge stretch. It seems to me that you're twisting people's words to project your own agenda.
It's anti-cop rhetoric from people like John Legend and Colin Kaepernick that put our officers at risk. Just last week, 2 officers were ambushed at a restaurant. Why? Because the war on cops is real and it's deadly.
This recent ambush? The facts surrounding the case are still unknown, but don't worry, you'll input your own bias here to drive your political agenda. As of right now, the motive for the killing is unknown. The subject walked into the restaurant and shot both cops, walked to his car and committed suicide. To any logical person, why would he commit suicide afterwards? One report even stated that the slain officer and one of the slain officers and the subject worked together in the past. But go on, Tommy.
People like John Legend and Colin Kaepernick convince their millions of followers police are the problem, that police are out to murder them, they're victims, and should fear police.
Statistically, in the last couple years, more whites have been killed by police than blacks. But these are just raw numbers. It doesn't go into the complexities of why and how they were killed. These numbers also don't show the number of times that instances were de-escalated, nor does it show the treatment of individuals by cops. While I really don't buy into the race idea that cops target blacks overall, there is still an underlying issue in the message: police brutality and the abuse of authority. This is an issue that needs to be addressed. Fundamentally, you have rule enforcers and everybody else. There will always be animosity because of this power structure. No matter how legal something is, if you're trying to limit someone's freedom through law or arrest, you will always have a bit of angst between
Forget
the two.
to tell their millions of followers is that these officers of every race show up in the most dangerous communities, not because they're great places to be, but because it's their duty to protect people in these communities, usually from each other. Black lives and all lives matter more to our police officers than people like John Legend could ever fathom. And that's why they put their own lives on the line each and every time they put on the badge and the uniform. So show some respect.
I hate this fucking argument. I'm a veteran of the United States Army. I don't need any respect shown to me. It is earned and not inherent in my actions. Just because I voluntarily put on a uniform doesn't mean I earned my respect. Yeah, police officers know what they signed up for. They know every day they might die trying to enforce societal standards. That is their decision. Do I have to respect them for that? No, I don't. It needs to be earned through action and merit. Now, police officers have my initial respect because they have the authority to use force and take away my freedoms. So, I fear them. But they don't inherently get this respect of being a moral and just person that Tomi wants them to have because they put their life on the line to protect others. No, that's your job, and I respect you as much as I respect my garbage man for picking up my garbage. But don't twist my words. I do have respect for police officers and understand their sacrifice. It is voluntary, though.
I'm so sick of these celebrities that rely on police officers for security and protection when it benefits them, but then turn around and throw our officers under the bus, all to stoke tension and demonize police.
Are you speaking about personal armed security? I don't believe these people are the same as your everyday police officer. I don't even think they have to be police officers. Security details are much different than your everyday cop, Tomi. They are held to a different set of laws than cops as well. They are paid solely to protect one individual versus enforce the law. Nice straw man there.
By demonizing the police, you're putting the communities you claim to care about at risk because it's our officers who protect those communities and all communities. Imagine what would happen in Chicago without the police. Who would you call? I can tell you this, John Legend, if you're so anti-police, then we better not ever hear of you calling on them for help, ever. And funny thing is...
Who would I call if there were no police? The Ghostbusters, of course. No, why would I even have to imagine that? If there wasn't police, then there either would, one, be our society has fallen, so who cares at this point, or two, we are in some libertarian wet dream where I have to call a private company to come save me. Also, it's not just police officers who protect communities. It's also the communities themselves that contribute to the equation. Gated communities with affluent people generally don't have a need for police. I wonder what keeps their communities so successful.
These celebrities so vocal about so-called police brutality are the same ones who want to disarm Americans. Explain that logic. You don't trust the police, but you don't think the Second Amendment is necessary either. So who's going to protect you, your fans, your neighborhoods? Are you...
So, here we are throwing some Second Amendment rhetoric in for your base. I have no idea what this has to do with your original argument, but whatever. So let me get this straight. I guess you're referring to not having police, then who would protect us without the Second Amendment? Very few people are for repealing the Second Amendment, and on top of that, I bet you even less are for getting rid of policing. Maybe you meant if we had no police, how would you protect yourself from others? Well, I can think of a million other ways beyond owning a firearm, but then again, I don't have a victim mentality that you claim the left does. It seems to me that you're claiming it here, if you didn't have guns, then you would automatically be a victim. Contrary to that point, the man who wrestled the rifle out of the Waffle House shooter's hands somehow didn't end up a victim. I wonder why. Maybe because he took action.
You gotta sing a song? Will that keep everyone safe? No. And I'm not saying all these things because I think I'm going to change the minds of these boneheads. I'm saying this because the thousands of police officers you put in danger with your anti-cop campaign can't say anything about it. I might not have as big of a platform as John Legend, but I'll use the one I have to say the things our men and women in blue can't say.
Are you fucking kidding me? These officers can't say anything. They don't have mouths nor freedom of speech. Did someone take their voice boxes or their ability to speak? And somehow, you are the elected one to be their rational voice. No, I don't think you have a clue. But then again, you don't think you have a big enough a platform as John Legend. I mean, you're a regular on Fox News. You have a huge social media following, and you never shut up. I think your platform is large enough to influence America. Don't sell yourself short, Tomi.
Guys, don't forget.
Oh, and by the way, Tommy, you've never put on the uniform. I don't think you'll ever put it on. Who gives a fuck what you think then? No one cares.